Central Bank, through its Anchor Borrowers program, has released 50,000 metric tons of maize to major players in the poultry value chain across the country. The bank, in a statement, said the release is to forestall the pressure and reduce the activities of intermediaries in the maize market. The beneficiaries of the maize released are Premier Flour Mills, Crown Olam, Grand Cereals, among others. Central Bank also noted that the release has caused the maize market price to drop from 200,000 naira per metric ton to about 180,000 naira, while still anticipating that the current price will reduce. Joining us to discuss these stories is Arise business analyst Chika Nbono. Chika, very welcome. As always. As usual. I'm fine. Thank you for joining us. What's your reaction to Mr. Hassan Mahmoud's Director of Monetary Policy's Arise Exchange appearance yesterday?
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday during our own program, and we tried to redirect the story as presented by Bloomberg. And there were some gaps, and which subsequently in our night program, Mr. Mahmoud, Dr. Mahmoud, the head of monetary policy, corrected. You know, in line with the fact that in difficult times, you don't expect oil prices cratered. You know, other sorts of income, foreign exchange fell, and so the country was found in a quandary and a challenging environment to meet the exit effects for the FPIs. Yes. And so they had a backlog. And with the sentiments becoming very positive, oil prices going up, which subsequently will create to the reserves. The COVID vaccines, landing in our country. Second wave moderating, economic activities start coming up again, flights being restored, economic activities will boom again, and our economy coming out of recession. Right. So the sentiments are right, and we believe that with that, the good fortunes will return to the FPIs again, both inflows and outflows. Indeed, inflows and outflows. The intervention extension. You do recall that as part of the early initiatives by the Central Bank of Nigeria to ameliorate the challenges, especially with the corporates, SMEs and the big companies, who had borrowed from a lot of the CBN intervention funds. CBN did two things. One was that it said the ruling rate then was 9%. Yes. So it brought it down to, it lowered it to 5%, to moderate the impact on those companies, on those borrowers. Secondly, you get them a moratorium of 12 months on their principal repayments. Moratorium means that you don't pay anything. And that had a salutary effect because also in the banking industry. Because had that not been done, the NPLs in the banking industry will also gone up. So one of the things that led to the NPLs in the industry, banking industry below during this accounting period was because of that CBN policy. So CBN has come out again and said, oh yeah, you know what's happening on the ground. We thought by now, but do recall that all that time they were putting the policies, as I say, the COVID challenge, having like a black box. Nobody, we're just feeling our way through. And so nobody knew when it's going to end. And so we can see that the program ended in this March. But the challenges of COVID are still here. Right. The businesses are not returned to lesser levels. The companies are still struggling. So it says that interest rate regime will run for another 12 months, automatically. However, unlike before, the first phase where he said the moratorium for principle will run automatically, this one is subject to application. Right. So if you know your business are returned, go and pay your loans. If you're still struggling, go and ask for moratorium or for repayment, or principal repayment, and then the banks will grant it. So again, it's impactful to the economy, help the banking system. CBN will lose income, of course, from 9% to 5%, but it's for the overall growth of the economy. Do recall, I said that the basket of all this is still very paltry, remember? Correct. 4% of our GDP, compared to other countries that have done double digits above that,
What about the maize, the 50,000-ton maize
maize is a very interesting thing. We talked about this program here that, for a lot of people, the maize they know is the one they buy from by the roadside. But maize is, I'm looking for the word, it permeates. Most things that we do is the principal food in the poultry industry. Correct, yes. If you go to typical poultry and see how the chicks, consume peck on maize, they just consume anything thrown on them, they will finish. So the poultry industry will fail, collapse without maize. The other thing also is medicinal and it's edible. All the soya, all the cornmeal, and they use in other medicine. So maize is used in various sectors of the economy, and so that's why it's very important. And what happened was, again, that do recall that CBN has said in one of the policies that to promote the local production of maize, they banned the access of foreign exchange from the IE window
right,
for importation of maize. But that had some impact. It created some disharmony in the prices, and a lot of the middlemen tried to jack up the maize price and created some scarcity. So it created some hoarders who wanted to move the price up. But CBN, again, rising from the Anchor Borrowers Program. Anchor Borrowers Program, basically, you have the farmers who hitherto do not have any finance to produce their products. Or when they produce, there's nobody to take their products, it will spoil. So they have anchors, the mills to take it. So CBN has aggregated those supplies and then work with the, bypass the middlemen directly to the feed millers and the flour mills. And that's what it has been.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you so much for taking us through these strategic moves from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Appreciate your insight.